Hi, guys. Thanks again for being here for Ask Amy. I have a question today from Fernanda from Chile. So I'm going to read her question. It's about setbacks in terms of leaving a habit behind. And I just want to say, the things that I share, the way that I talk to your questions and issues is universal. So you may not have Fernanda's habit. You may have no habit that's anything like her habit. You may not be, going through a setback, or even like maybe you can't relate at all, but you can. Even if the details and the specifics don't match, that's okay, because we aren't talking about details and specifics. We're always looking deeper. And, if you've seen any of these before, you know that it cuts to what's true and universal for all people. It's not issue specific. It's not person specific. So let me read Fernanda's question and then see what you hear in it. So she says, "Hi, Amy. My name's Fernanda. I'm 18 years old and I'm from Chile. So Amy, my question is, how do I deal with setbacks? The past month, I haven't acted on my urges to binge eat, and everything was fine. Everything was nice except for these last 2 weeks. I've been binging again and overeating a lot these last couple weeks. It's hard for me now to not act on these urges. The guilt thoughts, the shame, the sadness that I feel after my stomach is so full of food. It's something that's my worst weakness. The disappointment I feel for myself makes me binge even more. I always try to do my best for a period of time, but it seems that when I get to a reasonable period of time without this habit, it comes back again, and it's hard for me to get back on track. The thoughts that come to my mind are, hey, you messed up all your progress already. You're going to get fat anyways. You might as well just keep binge eating. It doesn't matter anyway. And I know that's ridiculous to think like that, but in the moment, it seems so accurate that I just go to the kitchen and eat everything I want in an excessive way. I don't know how to get over my guilt. I think I messed up in my progress too much. It's something that always keeps me from ending this habit." So Fernanda, been there. Lots of people have been there. Again, no matter what it is, no matter what you're dealing with, that cycle that you describe, I know so many people can relate to that of, no, not going to happen now. Things are going good. Maybe it's gone. Maybe I'm free from this. And then you fall back into whatever it is. And then, like you say, the guilt and the sadness and the shame and disappointment. I can't believe I did this. And what does it matter anyway? And might as well. And who do I think I am to try to stop this? All of that big barrage of stuff comes in. So absolutely. I mean, this is such a common universal thing for so many people that we all know in our own way. So one of the things I want to start to point you toward differently, Fernanda, is you say, I always try to do my best for a period of time, but it seems that when I get a period of time without the habit, it comes back. And then you talk a lot about it being hard for you to get back on track. You talk a lot about, doing your best, getting back on track, trying to not act on your urges. And I know you're absolutely doing the best you can. And what I hear in a lot of that is you very much in this equation. And it's going to help you so much for you, Fernanda, to be out of the equation a little bit more. So it's not about controlling something. It is about ending your habit. Now, people hear that all the time, like, oh, well, she's just saying maybe it's just fine to do this. No, I'm not saying that at all. But everything in this is like, I need it. And this is how we all are, right? This is how we see it. I have a period of good time, and then this happens. I need to get back on track. I need to do this. I need to do that. We, in a very rigid way, or sometimes in a way that seems just kind of common sense, we are trying to control it. We are very much in the picture, trying to do the right things or not do the wrong things or see it in a certain way. And that's always a mess, always. So see if you, Fernanda, can take you out of this and just see, it isn't about you doing the right thing or acting any certain way or getting back on track. This is something, this meaning the thoughts and feelings that move through you are something that just work themselves out. Now, I know that's scary to kind of go there a little bit, because what's happened is when some thoughts and feelings come up, you find yourself just pulled into acting on them, and it doesn't feel like you don't want that, and it feels like you need to do something different. But stick with me on this. The more you can see that this isn't you. As human beings, we all have stuff that comes through us. We all have habitual thoughts. We all have areas of insecurity or guilt or shame. And then we have thoughts of things that we're proud of or that we like. We have all this huge range of stuff that's coming through us all the time. And it's just moving through. It's working its way through. And usually we are like on a little raft riding along with it. So we don't get that it's a thing working its way through. We are like gripping for dear life, just going along for the ride and thinking, why is it taking me here? Now, why is it taking me there? And we think it's us. We are so caught up in it. And then, of course, we feel scared and lost. And so we think, well, I need to do something different. I need to turn it this way, or I need to turn it that way, and that always just gets us more involved. But what I'm pointing to is you seeing, okay, you don't even have this habit, Fernanda. You are just a person who has thoughts and feelings showing up all the time, just like every other human on earth. Now, some of them feel comfortable and easy and pass right through, and some don't. But the more you can begin to see, it is all okay. And there is a natural evening out that wants to happen. It is built into the design of every single human on earth, zero exceptions. You are not an exception to this. It just wants to, stuff is going to come. It's going to feel great. It's going to feel horrible. It's going to feel scary. It's going to feel like you have to act on it. It's going to feel like there's nothing for me to do here. It's going to be the biggest range of experience you can imagine. And all you have to do is just let it happen. If you do nothing, and even if you do something, but either way, it's going to come, it's going to go, it's going to be up, it's going to be down, and it's moving. It's moving. And beneath it is you. Now, you can't be that huge wave of experience. You wouldn't even know it. If that was you, you wouldn't have the ability to even kind of see it happening and be aware of it and all of that. So it isn't you. It isn't you. We are this bigger consciousness. We are this bigger awareness. And this thought, feeling, emotion, habits, behaviors, they kind of move through us, within us. So the more you can be in that place, Fernanda, the less likely you're going to get caught up in it, the less seriously you're going to take it. Now, yes, are you going to have thoughts that say, I can't believe you ate that, and you might as well, what's it all worth anyway, and who do you think you are to try to stop this? Absolutely. Do you have to take those seriously? Hell no. They aren't serious. They aren't true. They're just part of the way that life shows up. And in your habit, the way that life is used to showing up right now, they're showing up that way. Are you going to feel not so great and have all kinds of thoughts about wanting to go binge eat so you can just get rid of this feeling and feel better? Absolutely. And when you are in this place of just kind of knowing that that's there, but you're not affected by it, you're not touched by it, it's just the way life's showing up for you, you will start to feel a bigger separation there. You'll start to be able to notice, wow, I really am being pulled to do this. But you're the one noticing, I am being pulled to do this. You're not that, you don't have to follow that. So if you can see all the things that you're kind of saying about staying on track and being on top of this and not acting on urges and then feeling guilt and shame, the way that you and everybody really talks about it is it's like, oh, I have all these little separate issues. How do I not act on the urge? And then how do I not feel so guilty? And then how do I not believe this? It's all one thing. Try to not separate it all out and put labels on it and think of them all as different, because it's not. It's truly not. Yes, guilt shows up for everyone at times. Yes, shame shows up for everyone at times. Yes, discomfort shows up and is quickly followed by some suggestion about what to do to not feel the discomfort for everyone at times. Your habit's no different than anyone else's, and it's absolutely not something that has power over you. It's just that when all that stuff's showing up, you get scared and you think it has power over you. I did too, right? That's how it goes, is the stuff's showing up and we're like, oh, I have to, and what is this? And I have this disease and I have this, and this is what you do. But it isn't. So the more you can see, you're just feeling up and down, thinking and feeling just like every single human on the face of the earth right now. We're all feeling it. Just shows up with different words around it and different feelings, but it's all the same. And the more you kind of see, okay, it's just built into all of us to let that come and go and then just even out, the less reactionary you're going to feel, the less it'll even make any sense to you to do anything about it. You'll get naturally better at just kind of letting it be there. There'll be a bigger space for it to just be there as it is. And there's just nothing to do about it at that point. So I know that might sound really far from where you are right now, but it isn't. It is not as far as it sounds. Trust me on that. It just isn't. Just listen to what I'm saying here and just take it in. Just take it in and just see if it resonates with you and makes sense. See it in other areas of your life. If this whole binge eating habit thing is so sticky right now, see it when, someone looks at you an ambiguous way or makes some comment you don't like, or a friend gets mad at you. See how your mind will want to spit stuff out, but then that just flows away. It just flows right downstream like every other piece of experience that moves through us. And there's a you there that isn't touched by that. And that's going to start to help so much in all of this. So the whole setback idea, I know it's a big question for a lot of people. What do? I had this setback. I'm full of all this guilt and shame. And the thing about a setback is, like you're saying here, we have to be tracking how we're doing in order for a setback to even be a thing, to even be a concept that makes any sense to us. It's really just like, we're just here in each moment, just living life as it's moving through us. There's no real such thing as a setback or I'm ahead or I'm on track or I'm not on track. That's all a lot of thinking when we put ourselves on this kind of time scale or this like linear line of here's how life should be going for me. But it's going to cause a lot of problems, so just let it be moment to moment. Don't track your progress. You don't need to get back on track. It's a moment to moment, feeling life move through you, knowing it's moving away, and there's a you beneath all of it. So I hope for anyone with any habits, anything you're wanting to change, see if this whole concept of a setback doesn't start to look a little different to you when you consider that life's just moving through ups and downs, the same as it is for every single person on earth. And when we let that just go, even when we don't let it, it just goes. And it has this way of kind of balancing out. Hope that's helpful. Thanks so much for listening, guys. And I just want to say, for those of you who do try to watch live on Mondays, I won't be here next Monday, but I will do an Ask Amy next week. I'll just have to do it on a different day. So send your questions, if you have them, to AskAmy@thelittleschoolofbigchange.com. If you are curious about the things that I share here, have some kind of change that you'd like to see happen, or just want to hear more about how our experience works, which is really what all of these answers kind of point toward, check out thelittleschoolofbigchange.com, and there's lots of great stuff there. And thanks so much for being here. I look forward to seeing your questions, and I'll see you next time.